Welcome to Dark Destinations, a monthly examination of the shadowy corners of the globe where our haunted past meets our startling future. Episode 1, Part 2, Arkham, Massachusetts.
Back in the days of sailing ships, people from all over the world were coming to America, looking for a new start in life. Oh, sorry, Shelley. That is the opening to an old ghost story record I had when I was a kid. It seems wildly appropriate given my current locale. I am no longer bound by the laws of land. Well, not really. I'm still in territorial waters, but I am at sea, currently chugging out of Arkham Harbor. I always feel as though I think better when I'm near the ocean. And since I haven't yet deduced a plan to get back inside Miskatonic, I figured I couldn't get nearer than gliding through the surf. Hopefully it'll help. You know, out here amidst the wind and waves, it's hard not to recall the magnificent vessels that once prowled up and down the coast. The Mayflower, Old Ironsides, and the ship I'm aboard now, the SS Hot for Teacher. I think it's safe to assume which side of the Van Halen, Van Hagar fence the captain's feet stand. Just so you know, this isn't entirely a gotta-clear-out-the-cobwebs, navel-gazing pleasure cruiser or anything show. As worthless as the suppositions in that book Arkham lore most likely are, they are worth a bit of investigating. One in particular concerns a bit of real estate not far from the coast. Its official name is St. Dismas Island. Dismas was the penitent thief crucified beside Jesus, by the way. Long before that, the Shawmut tribe called it, well, I know I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, so I'll just give it to you in English. They called it the Top of the Skull. Now, I don't think they meant any menace with that name. It's exactly how it does appear on certain days. The top of some massive skull from some cyclopean monstrosity that floats gently just below the surface. Though as a kid I was unaware of either name. Locals just called it Innsmouth University. Innsmouth is a rival seaport town north of here. Not that there's been much of a rivalry in the past century or so. As Arkham prospered, Innsmouth withered. If there's a level beneath blue-collar, that's them. Most cities on the coast view them with a jaundiced eye. But whatever it's called, that island is where I'm headed. It's a snipe hunt, I'm sure. But there are worse ways I could be spending my time. When viewed from the mainland, the western portion of St. Dismas Island isn't much to look at. When you're standing on it, that initial impression is borne out. The beach, such as it is entirely rock, or rather thousands of them, and none too stable, as my sopping wet pant cuffs can attest. It's low tide at the moment, so you can get a good look at them. They're mostly royal blue, gradually becoming onyx at the shoreline. Though that might give you the impression that they gleam. They do not. The only thing glinting on this beach is a beer bottle that's washed ashore, and even that looks sickly. The rocks continue up out of the water for a half-dozen feet, where they meet yet more stone. This one is solid, the island itself, and rises up in a nearly symmetrical dome that blots out the horizon and keeps the eastern half of the island from view. Eons of wind and wave have polished the surface of the hill to a dusty ivory hue. Honestly, nothing seems very out of the ordinary. That is, till you trudge up the hill here and crest the top of the skull. You're met with a fairly sheer cliff face. It doesn't look so treacherous, only about a 20-foot drop, but if you came out here on a moonless night, you might be in trouble. Lucky for me, there seems to be a path that leads down along the southern rim, and thank God, because I am unprepared to improvise a rope using my coat, scarf, and socks. From what I can see, the eastern part of the isle stretches away and terminates in a near point. I get the impression that seen from above, the entirety of the island would resemble an ornate medieval dagger. And in stark contrast to the western side, there's quite a bit of dense vegetation sprawling its length. And apparently, if you make your way to the edge of the island's northeastern point and climb down another dozen feet, there are 3 openings in the rock that lead to 3 caves. Captain Perkheiser of the SS Hot for Teacher told me that they'd be visible now because the tide's low. Which means the rest of the time, the entrances are covered by the ocean. Which also means I better get moving, since I left my scuba gear back in Venice. Hey Shelley, make a note to remind me to contact Mildred Fitzmyer. She runs that botany podcast, Flora the Explorer. She'd have a field day out here. I'm taking pictures, but I'm not sure they do justice. The north and south ends of the island, at the edges, are covered in beach grass, which isn't so unusual, except beach grass tends to grow in clumps with sporadic blades stabbing up through the sand dunes. This grass is lush, with thousands of blades jutting crazily in all directions. It's a lawn the Addams family would cultivate. But as you get near the center of the island, these plants are odd. Part fern, part moss, part I have no goddamned idea. And they're growing without the benefit of any discernible soil, just sprouting from the sediment. Ordinarily there'd be a howling ocean wind, but it's muted by the top of the skull into a gentle breeze. These plants fairly undulate in it. If it was a cloudier day, you'd swear they were breathing. Okay, Shelley. I reached the northeast edge, and just a cursory glance proved that Arkham lore wasn't lying. Neither was Captain Perkheiser, for that matter. Just below the lip, there are 3 cave entrances. I was trying to figure out a way to lower myself down when a notion took hold. Intuition, maybe. Even a piss-poor reporter like me gets them from time to time. Though really, it felt like I felt this morning when I stepped outside, like a metal filing pulled toward some invisible magnet. And I found myself heading here to the southeast side of the island instead. And I'm glad I did. Well, not glad, but gratified. It took more than a glance. I had to really study the wave-worn stone, but then I saw it. Another entrance. Just one. I doubt I'm the first to discover it, but there hadn't been any mention of it from anyone or any source beforehand. And who knows if it doesn't just dead end a few feet from view, but we're going to find out. I'd say I've got about 45 minutes to get in and out before the ocean swallows it again. Wish me luck. It took a lot longer to get down here than I expected. I'm going to put the recorder in my shirt pocket, so I apologize if the sound goes in and out. This entrance doesn't dead end at all. It goes in much further than I can see. Score 1 for me in remembering a flashlight. I'm heading in now. The passage is quite narrow, and it's on an incline, heading up. I expected to see some graffiti or trash or something, but it looks like no one's been here in some time. At least not teenagers. The walls are smooth. I imagine that's from centuries of seawater eroding the jagged spots. Something squished beneath my feet. And it's a dead fish. Must have been trapped here when the water receded. And I'm hoping that's the last animal I encounter. The passage is too cramped to let anything big in here, but even a small shark could do enough damage to strand me. God, the incline is really steep. It must thread its way through the heart of the island. What the hell? Hello? I'm looking inside a cavern. I mean, that's the only word for it. But look at that. It's smooth and ridged at the same time. The ceiling. The roof, I guess. It's about 10 feet from the floor. But the walls, I'd say the room's circumference is about 25 feet. And circumference is right, because it's perfectly round. As far as the flashlight allows, anyway. I'm gonna have to go in there. I really don't want to go in there. Okay, it's heavy. Heavy. That's what it feels like. That makes sense. I don't know. Can you hear that? Is that just in my head? The floor is not quite polished, but almost. And there's a symbol carved in it. Did the Shaman tribe do this? God, it seems like such a Herculean effort. I mean, get in here when the tide is out, work as fast as you can. I mean, the equipment alone. There's no other adornment, really, except... What is that? There's a recess in the wall here. Huh. There's a book and a parchment. No, it's a folded map. And there's a small carving in the rock here, just inside this shelf. Nihil infinitum. Just like the book at Miskatonic. Maybe this is the book. God, it's old. Hand-bound. Wish I brought a plastic bag. I don't want it to disintegrate. It's handwritten. I gotta say, this is about a century or two old. The handwriting started off ornate, calligraphic, but it seems it's been updated through the years. What is that? What is that sound? Maybe there's a methane leak in here. I just don't feel. Well, what I wouldn't give for a chair. The thought of sitting on this stone floor absolutely sickens me. Huh? At the boat. Okay. God, it must be later than I thought. Gotta get out of here. Hey, Shelly. Back in the car. Got the heater on full. And ocean damp seeps right through your skin. Got a chill I cannot shake. I don't quite know where to go. Thought about toting my new discoveries under my arm like a professor and just strolling into Miskatonic U's library right now. But I'm not exactly seeking any undue attention. I just want a minute of quiet so I can go over this book and map. And I may have instinctively made the decision already, as I seem to be on the route back to my house. Well, to the Airbnb. Maybe Miss Halsey will open up the sitting room and I'll be able to relax in my old bedroom for a bit. I don't think I'd mind that at all. Hold on. I'm on my street. My house sits about 3/4 of the way down the block. There is a small group of people in front of it. They're all talking with Miss Halsey. Wish I could hear them. It is quite an animated discussion. Why do I have the feeling that I'm the subject? I think I'm just going to back up and swing on by here a little later. I swore I would never come back to my grammar school. I hated every moment. But here I am. Parked outside it anyway. I don't really have any desire to go inside, but I gotta say, as I was driving past it, I began to feel, I want to say, welcome or comforted? And there's something to that, but it's more like necessary. That's probably not the right word either. The kids seem pretty happy. They must be on recess. And good for them that they're doing it right now. The marine layer burned off to what should have been a bright sunny day, but it's darkening out prematurely. That can only mean rain. Alright, I'm just gonna push these seats back here, and I'm gonna try and read over this book and make some sense of the map. I'll let you know. It's not the ocean fog or the inevitable rainstorm chilling me now, Shelley. It's because of this goddamn book. I've been sitting here for, Jesus, an hour now. I started with the map, and I guess I'll have to start there too, because that book... Shelley, I'd appreciate it if you don't share these sound files with anyone. I think they'd make a hell of a good case for me being committed. Anyway, the map. I suspect it's older than the book, though it's been lovingly cared for. And it's been added to and updated over the years. The different shades of ink and how badly they faded tells me it's been redrawn at least 4, maybe 5 times. The oldest version is a simple topographical sketch of the area. I can make out the harbor and Dismas Island. There are swirls indicating the heavily forested area surrounding the town, and a dramatic slash showing where the Miskatonic River cuts through. The next layer of ink is the puzzling part, or one of them. Whoever did it added what are clearly paths crisscrossing the town. But they don't correspond to any roads that exist now, or, to the best of my knowledge, ever. And the Shamat tribe didn't make thoroughfares. They built their villages to complement nature, not dominate it. If all that had been added were these mystery paths, it wouldn't be so confounding. But the next layer are rough sketches of landmarks more than familiar to me. Christchurch, the Foundry, the docks. That's definitely Miskatonic University. What's unusual about that is, whoever drew them didn't bother to draw the streets as we know it. And the fact that there's even yet a further updated layer of ink, this one is unmistakably ballpoint pen, And they didn't bother to add them either, even though now they've included the grammar school and the playground out near Hangman's Hill. It makes those paths even more interesting. What the hell are they? I'm pretty sure I know. Pretty sure Dan Kane knew too. I think they're tunnels. I think they're everywhere. Deeper than the sewers and the runoffs. Unspeakably old. Who would dig them? And more importantly, who's been keeping them a secret all these years? I mean, if it's true, my God, you could move anywhere unhindered at any time. The book. It's not prose, not a theological treatise. It's an obscene census, a loathsome, centuries-spanning list. Let me read you a sample from the first couple of pages. These are undated. Bartholomew Dudley, son of John Dudley and Goody Dudley. Verity Howe, daughter of Widow Howe. Anne Bradstreet, daughter of Mr. Reverend Bradstreet and Goody Bradstreet. There's 6 more after that, all in one entry. 9 children. Let's flip ahead, shall we? Humphrey Fenn, son of Mr. Richard Fenn and Mrs. Mary Fenn. Walter Marshall, son of Mr. Philip Marshall. There's 16 more. These are all dated 1720. April 30th, 1720. Aaron Rogers. Whoever took the mantle up here dispensed with the parents' names. Henry Scudder, Della Woodbridge, Walter Mildmay. There's too many to count. April 30th, 1855. It goes on and on, quill and ink to pen and pot, to the more recent decades. The writing less ornate, less structured, first names only for a lot of them. And not as many, but still. This book lays bare May's Eve. Hundreds, maybe 1,000 names. Names of children. It doesn't give any hint as to why or how. But it confirms design. Selection. Even as lunatic as it is to consider the sheer number of names, that's not what's chilling me right now. It's the final entry. April 30th, 1999. One name. The author has taken pains to write in cursive and has reverted to the old and sensible method of first and last name followed by their parents. Virginia Ward, daughter of Mr. Stephen Ward and Mrs. Tabitha Ward. I don't know any Virginia, and there were no other Wards living in Arkham at that time. I know, I did a family tree in high school that year, traced the Wards back to Aberdeen, Scotland, and I scoured the Arkham registries hoping to find a lost cousin or an eccentric old aunt. None. Just my family. August Ward, that's me, and my parents, Stephen and Tabitha. Oh, and the map? Each person who updated it updated the tunnels as well, scratching in new tributaries and veins beneath the surface of Arkham. They spread out to the neighborhoods that sprang up after World War II. Now, I can't be 100% sure without an urban chart overlaid, but it looks like one of them goes straight to my house. Shelley, I'm back at my house. There was no crowd outside, and there's no sign of Miss Halsey. I already packed up my stuff and put it in the car. Impossibly, this will be the second time I've vowed never to return to this house. Hopefully I can deliver on that promise. I already scoured the basement. It's the one room Miss Halsey hasn't completely overhauled. Same bare concrete walls, same yellowed linoleum flooring, but no sign of a tunnel. I tapped and banged and prodded, hoping for a false wall or a trapdoor, but it's all solid. So here I am, kneeling on the floor of what I believe to be the vacant third-floor bedroom, staring at a tiny door that I never knew was here. And playing on a loop in my head is a name, Virginia Ward. The sensible part of me is saying, pick up this tire iron, walk down the stairs, get in your car, and leave. And I want to. I really do. But sensible has never been my forte, and I need to know. Come on. Okay, I'm heading through this door. It's a tight
fit. The space seems to stretch back at least 10 or 15 feet, I'm guessing. The ceiling slopes up as it recedes. I might actually be able to stand back there. I expected there'd be some kind of storage, old Christmas decorations or something, but there's nothing. God, I'm gonna have to stand in the rain after I get out of here just to get the dust off of me. Wait a second. Just above the door is a drawing. A child's drawing. It's faded, but the artist chose permanent marker for the medium, so it's still legible. 4 people. They're lined up in descending height. A mom and dad and 2 children. A boy and a girl. That sensible part of me is saying it's the family that lived here previous to mine, but my grandfather built this house, and my mom was an only child. This has to be a joke, right? Some town-sized prank designed to make me question my reality? Virginia Ward? Oh, I didn't have a sister. Alright, Shelly, I'm gonna get out of here. This is stupid. I'm gonna get in the car, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a quick look back here, just to make sure I haven't overlooked anything. God, it is taller back here, but oh, it's narrow, too. What is it? Ah! Oh! Oh. Guess I'm in the basement. It's too dark to... No, not the basement. This ground is stone. And there's no light at all. Wait. No, up above me, I can see the light from the closet door, but... God, that's just not possible. Looks like it's 2 stories high. I couldn't have fallen that far. Ah, my shoulder. I literally can't see a foot ahead of me. The light on the recorder's glowing, so I know at least that works. Gotta find my flashlight here. Come on. Come on. I have a light, though it's not that helpful. The room, or maybe this is one of the tunnels. It goes on and on. I can't see a wall in any direction. None of this makes any sense. If this is a tunnel, there's no earthly way it was constructed. The whole town would just cave in. I need to find a way out of here. I wish I could tell you what I'm seeing, but even with the flashlight trained straight ahead of me, nothing is coming into view. What was that? Okay, I'm just gonna keep moving forward here. That sounded very, very close. But I can't see anything around me. Okay, keep walking. No problem. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. Ah! Something just slammed down behind me. It's about 10 feet back. Looks like a wall. No, not a wall. That looks like skin. And it's pulsating. I can't see the top of it. Oh. God, it's receding back into the darkness. It looked like a giant tentacle. What the hell could that be attached to? Maybe I should not find out. Wait, up ahead. Looks like a door. What is that? Oh, come on. That's it. Keep working. Okay. Still working. Shelly, I knocked the batteries out of this thing when I flew into the room. I hope it stays on. It should. The batteries are brand new. Oh, it's official. I'm losing my goddamned mind. I kind of hoped I was sleeping, but my right leg is in just too much pain. I lost the flashlight, but I thankfully don't need it in here. And there's another door, which hopefully leads to more brightly lit rooms, because I have no desire to go back through the door I entered, with or without a flashlight. Did I mention I'm crazy now? Well, I am. Because now I know that was a tunnel, but none that exists on Earth. That is some sci-fi insanity for you. So where did this interdimensional portal lead me to? Miskatonic University, I'm sure of it. But not in a biology lab, that would have been convenient. No, my feverish brain has conjured me into Miskatonic's secret library. It's a round room, not very large, more like a study. I don't know where the music is coming from, but it won't stop. There is one single, very comfortable chair. The walls are lined with books, ancient from the look of them, with titles I can't ever fathom having read before. Let me see. The Narcotic Manuscripts, Unersprechlichen Kulten, The People of the Monolith, Kult de Ghoul. Those are just a few of the many that cover the walls. But it's the one in the glass case, locked and the book itself restrained with a triple bolt, that most people have been whispering about for ages. It says Al-Azif on the cover. None of them interest me. But there is a drawer underneath the case. Look at that. A hidden book in a hidden library. Gold filigree title. Nihil Infinitum. This isn't like the one from the cave. It's ornate, made with care, and it is tantalizing. Every part of me is screaming not to touch it. But there's this buzzing in my head, and I know if I just open it and read, it will stop. What I wouldn't give to be a sensible human being. I'm gonna put the voice activation on the recorder. It's at least one sensible thing. Ah! God help me! Shelley, I've done horrible things. Unspeakable things. You have to know it wasn't me. I could see and feel it, but I couldn't control it. You have to know I was helpless to stop. I know everything now. The entire awful history, and more. So much more. It hurts to know it. I need to speak quickly. Because even now, I can feel my memories beginning to fade. Miskatonic University should be burned to the ground, so that no one gets hold of those books ever again. Anyone who is seeking them is questing for a link, a transmitter to access other worlds and dimensions. And they're right. That's what the books are. A bridge between our world and an entire multiverse of horrors. But not for humans. That's the great joke. It's for them. The nameless terrors. The old ones. The books allow them into our world. Into our bodies. May's Eve has been perpetrated by one of them for centuries. The same twisted creature, every generation, residing temporarily in a human host. It makes them do the unthinkable. And as it leaves you and returns to its dimension, it takes your memories with it. Of your actions. Of the victims. Of the children. The tunnels? It uses them. They're everywhere. But they're not tunnels, do you see? They're places where the barriers between our world and theirs have rubbed thin. gaps between the dimensions that could allow them to come storming into our world, and they're trying, searching for that opening. And that's the other great joke, Shelley. May's Eve slakes their thirst. The children are sacrifices, offerings. It satisfies them and keeps them from pushing too hard to find the cracks in our reality. For a while, anyway. When it took me over, it took complete control. I could see what it sees and think what it thinks, but I was powerless to stop it. So much knowledge. 1 million worlds and 1 million species out there just waiting. I know the names of everyone it took over, spanning back to the start. But I also know it wasn't them. Not really. And I'm one of them now. No. Not now. Again. I should never have come back. It was done with me. Why did I come back? Oh, God, Shelley. I've done it before and I couldn't remember. Virginia. My little sister. God damn it. It took so much of my memory. It blotted her out. And the horrible thing I did to her. But that hideous act isn't the worst part of it. It's only my memory that it took. Not the townspeople. They know. They know and accept it. Offering up their children like lambs to the slaughter. My own parents offered her up. It's the way it's always been in Arkham. Right now, the citizens are gathered outside this house. At first, I thought it was to take me and exact revenge, and I was going to let them, but they're here out of gratitude. They look jubilant. God, it's all seeping out of my head so quickly. I have to act soon. I've sent an email to a colleague in Boston. He's going to come here and collect my belongings, including the recorder, which I'm leaving in Virginia's bedroom, in the crawl space, where I am now. Hopefully you'll get it. Hopefully you'll expose this town for what it is. There's one last sacrifice to be made. It'll be a short fall. Maybe in one of those insane dimensions. There'll be forgiveness for me. But I'm not optimistic.
This episode of Dark Destinations was written and produced by Father Malone. Title music was written and performed by Darren Curtis from DarrenCurtisMusic.com. We hope you'll join us next time. Until then, may all your travels lead to dark destinations.